Welcome everyone to the Live Report. Tonight is our special series called The Kings of the Round Table with host and Super Bowl champion record breaker Dwight Smith. We have special guest today, entrepreneur and business owner Carl D. Thomas out of Dallas, Texas. The name of his company is OK Tax Champs USA. Today, we've received a number of questions from the community. I want to thank you guys for writing in. Some things we really want to talk about. You guys asked about relationships, and we have some questions that we want to address. One of the first questions I'm throwing out there to the round table is, can a woman and a man be best friends? Is that possible? That's one of the first questions that hit the round table today. Anybody want to chime in?
I can go first. You mean when you ask that question, you mean outside of their relationship, correct?
I don't know. That's how I landed on the table.
Because me and my wife are best friends. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing they mean
I would assume
that you're not dating, like someone outside of your
yes.
wife or something.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Yeah. Someone outside of your soul. Is it possible for you to be friends and you're in a dating relationship, but you got a friend outside the relationship? Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I believe that's how it came in.
I believe it would be tough. You know what I mean? I believe it would be tough because when you're in a relationship, any free time that you get to spend with a woman, you know, your wife or significant other, feel that you should be spending it with them. You know, so that relationships become friction, not between you and the woman, but between you and your woman. And, you know, a lot of times I've seen it work while men are dating, but if a man is married, it's kind of tough to have a woman as a best friend.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, I concur on that too. I mean, it will be tough, but I'm like I said, I'm not married, but I've had different situations where, you know, what I do, where I've had business with other women. But I think one, you have to. It will be difficult, but I think you and your significant other has to have that trust and build that trust, and you have to make her feel comfortable. And then also, she must feel comfortable with that other woman as well. It does make a bigger difference if that other woman is married or something as well, or in a strong relationship, and if you are around her significant other as well, that does kind of stop it from happening. Because if you're a person of integrity and things of that nature. I mean, I'm not saying that it won't ever have thoughts, especially if a girl is pretty and all that type stuff. I mean, I've been with pretty ones and been in relationships with pretty women, and also with not so pretty there, where my girl may feel like I'm not attracted to. You know what I'm saying? That will also makes it a little more comfortable as well. But it can be a very tough situation, man. Again, I think it's got to be a lot of communication going on with you and your spouse, and then again, the more that she's around that other person, and also her significant other, if that's possible, that makes it more secure too.
It makes so it kind of makes it okay. So, you know,
I mean, because if it's your friend, like if she know that I'm friends with her husband and all that type of stuff, and she know how I am, like, cause I don't mess with other friends and stuff like that either. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know,
it's different as a woman, like as a friend, as in being a best friend. Like, I mean, because I have women that I have friends that, you know,
best friend, that's
like
tough,
that.
Yeah,
that you know, you still communicate with. Yeah, like you're talking about best friend, like somebody that you confiding in when that's who you're going to talk to if you have any issues with your relationship, things like that.
Tough.
You know,
yeah,
that's when it becomes tough, man.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah.
Hey, so
you pull that off, boy. You.
Well, I tell you what, man. So I grew up with my best friend. She's like a sister, and man, we call each other sister and brother. But you can see when in times where people were like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? what's up, or I can see how, we grew up together, man, and we just been, it's crazy. And she like us. She can sit here and chop it with us. And, we used to roast in high school and have good times, man. And, it's kind of difficult when you're trying to explain that to somebody when and this person in your mind is really like a sister. And you get to that point in your mind. But like you said,
I mean, we can't put ourselves in people's shoes, and you don't know what type of men they've been around for them to be able to trust a man being with a woman. They've probably been cheated on many times, or they've watched their brothers cheat, or things like that. So it makes it harder for them to even believe that you could be around a woman in a strictly platonic type situation.
That's true. It does. I think it does reflect to people's background and their upbringing, in the experiences they had,
That's a form of trauma, so.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you got to think every girl,
some kind of traumatic situation.
Every woman has, since 12 years old, every man they ran into has been trying to get into their pants. So what's going to make them think you feeling something different about any other woman? You know what I mean? They always going to bring the situation back to their experiences. And what they've experienced with men has always been somebody at the end wanting to get some. So, you always have to put yourself in somebody else's shoes to see what they're seeing.
And again, especially if that woman that you're with feel that the other woman is attractive, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it talks about here, can a woman and a man have a working business relationship without being involved intimately? Sometimes with trust, so if trust can become a trauma, and sometimes from a male's point of view, and I've heard it to where the pressure that's put on to where, okay, the individual might feel offended. That, wait a minute, I'm not even thinking about this person in this way because of your trauma or what's happened on both sides too, male and female. Male and female, because men go through it too. So we're not only looking at it one-sided. You're just trying to probably have a working and business relationship, and what if that fear, is that possible? Is it possible for that to take place? Can a woman and a man have a working and business relationship without being intimately involved? That's one of the questions they have.
And the thing is, once again, what are we talking about? We talking about two single individuals who have the right to do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? But are we talking about two people who are married going into business together? And I would believe that two people who are married would be able to have a working. Go ahead.
I believe we can probably address it from both ends.
Yeah, because I believe a married couple can have a working relationship because both have significant others who always going to be around the situation. When you're talking about two single folks, a lot of hours spent together. I mean, we can see this with people who act together in movies. How many people have acted in movies and became married after? You know what I mean? When you spend that much time around people, it's a natural attraction of male and female. That's how it works. So, I mean, if you spend that much time around somebody, y'all putting a business together and you're both single, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to not be, if y'all both are attractive.
So what if you're married and you go into business with an individual that's single, or vice versa, two people married going into business, y'all got the same commonalities. Okay, so you're married, she's married, and y'all going into business together. So we can create this framework on how, any way we want to, on how we will answer the questions, because it's an open-ended question.
And my answer to that is, no matter how many hours y'all work together, you're going home to your significant other. When you're talking about people who don't have a significant other that they're going home to, all they're thinking about is the whole day that they spent with that person. So that person's always on their mind. I mean, so it's going to be kind of hard to not, cross paths.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that is somewhat true, but I mean, again, so that's why I have heard you on the first conversation because you had went over the questions earlier. So that's what I was thinking about what you were saying there. But yeah, I mean, being, how we be in different network marketing companies and stuff and things of that nature. And then I also have a business partner that I deal business with the business. A good thing that she don't stay with me, but she stays in Kentucky though. But my significant other had an opportunity to spend time with her and stuff like that as well. But again, I think that when you have that type of bond and when you start growing and stuff, it makes it harder to cheat when they know your spouse or your other person. Because you know what I'm saying, I don't consider myself no grimy person like that, and that just, again, that's creating a situation that you're going to be uncomfortable yourself, because you know that it's going to be eventually another time that her or my wife may, or my significant other would be around each other, and that's something that I don't want. I don't need that smoke in my life. You know what I'm saying? So, far
I'm a
as that,
karma type of person, man. So,
right, me too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I believe in it 100%. So, so for me, I would say yes. I think I can do it. But for other people, man, I mean, I just think it's all about the communication with your people, with your spouse, man, and also just being able that person, rather male or female, whatever, who the opposite person is, they're gonna have to just still be somewhat sensitive to that person's feelings, man, because you might be at long hours, may be gone long somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And they may have those feelings. So, but you got to respect their feelings and what they feel too, without just brushing it off, feeling like, oh, no, ain't nothing going on. Because again, we all been around long enough to know that it happens all the time.
Right. So you guys both said, I think Coach Smith said it earlier, there was an issue about being faithful and cheating. And hey, Coach Smith, I think you said something about it depends on the type of household you grew up in. So that's about socialization, identification. Can you go into that a little bit about what you meant by that?
When as a male, when you grow up around males who are guys who you see being great husbands, great fathers, things of that sort, that's what you tend to lean towards when you become an adult. When you be around guys who have a lot of women and have baby mamas everywhere, and that's what you tend to see and think that that's cool to do. So you kind of gravitate towards what you see growing up. And I had the honor of, being raised by my grandparents. So my thing was, I didn't want a girlfriend while I played in NFL, because I knew that I couldn't be the man that a woman would need me to be while I was playing. So I would never go in and tell a woman that I'm going to marry you or thinking none of that. Any woman I dealt with understood from the jump what they were getting themselves into.
Right.
And my wife, I met her in 2006. She was smart enough to hang around and continue to talk to me after I retired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
she keep you at a distance, like I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, she understood what I told her, and when I was done, she was like, "So now, are you ready?"
And, right, that's strong though. But at the same time, that was a blessing on your behalf, though. To be honest, though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, man, this woman has been the greatest thing that's happened to me. The man that I was before we were, and the man I am today, and it's because of me wanting to be a better man for her and our kids.
Hey, could you repeat that? Hey, could you repeat that? Could you repeat that again? Repeat that last statement, because it kind of slowed up, I think.
Well, I said it beat you out.
I said that
only basically
me and my wife being together is the greatest thing that happened to me. Because basically before I met her, I was not the man that I am today. And it all happened because of me wanting to be a better man for her. So, I mean, she knows it. My kids know it. She most people know that most NFL guys have 3, 4, 5 baby moms. You know, my baby mom was my high school sweetheart, and my other kids is from my wife. So, you know, I wasn't never a guy who was trying to go around and have a bunch of babies or be the baby daddies or do none of that. You know, I was going to enjoy myself, but I also was going to take care of myself.
Right.
So Carl, you said that Dwight grew up with his grandparents, but Carl, you said that was an image that you saw. You're saying that even if it wasn't in your household, that was a beacon of light for you when you saw your grandparents. And it seems like we're going to this grandparents. I think the legacy, man. That I think things are like quite different now about the level of commitment and some of the examples. I mean, we're seeing people that have been married 60 years, or even with the corona. You know, I mean, out of nowhere, this couple have been married almost 60 years out of high school, and therefore, you know. So you said you saw an example too, Carl, right?
Right. So I grew up with my mom and my dad, you know, in the household, you know, and they stayed married until I was like 27 years old. So all of my siblings was, you know, we had both parents in our household, but it was very toxic, you know what I'm saying? But while I was in Michigan until about 10, when I moved to Dallas, you know, that's where we would go all the time. We would be at my grandmother's house, you know, and they kept us in church on both sides, though, on both sides of my parents. We were always in church. But like my mom's side of the family was more the very, very, very dysfunctional. You know, my grandfather sold drugs, you know, he beat on my grandmother, had, you know, thought he was a pimp and stuff, all that. You know, we was around all of that. And then my 2 uncles that my sister and my mom had, you know, her brothers, you know, I've seen them whoop on their wives and stuff like me. And, you know, I seen my daddy do the same with my mom. But so the beacon of light where we always felt safe was always at my dad's parents' house, and they stayed in church. You know, I've never seen them argue, you know, and then it was a point when I had a situation and this was just when I got older. Don't get me wrong. I was about almost 28, 29 or so up in there. I was close to 30. I was about 30. Matter of fact, I was about 30. And I had I was going through a situation in my marriage that I was in. And I went to my grandmother because that was the only person I can really trust. Because, you know, I've been not saying I couldn't trust my mom or dad, but I just knew that they would talk. You know, they may say something. But I went to my grandmother and I flew back to Michigan to talk to her. And because, you know, I never wanted to be divorced. I never thought I would be in that situation, you know, of infidelity and stuff like that in my marriage and stuff. So this was 10 years I've been with, and I said, I got married at 20 and we got together when I was about 18. So we were together for a minute now, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like 10 years strong. I never cheated, you know what I'm saying? So I go to my grandmother and talk to her about it because I knew that they had a successful marriage. You know what I'm saying? They was married because my grandfather passed in 03. So this was about 07, 08, I think it was, when I talked to my grandmother. And I found out, you know, that, you know, they had some problems and issues growing up too when during their marriage and stuff. But it was just about that time when you know, by the time I was around and starting to see this stuff, they was already been there, done that, you know, so we never seen that part. But they always had that, like to this day, like my grandma's still straight. You know, my granddaddy been gone since 03, you know, 17 years, you know what I'm saying? And she's still straight, you know, so she never said anything negative about my grandfather, you know what I'm saying? So what we seen with them, they were always in church. They had the most level of respect for one another, you know. So that was my upbringing where if I look at a successful marriage, that's who I look at. You see what I'm saying? Because I've never really seen a successful marriage other than them, you know, that I can personally just say, hey, that's something that I want when I leave this earth. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how that was with me.
All right. So another question we have here. Oh my God. So we out of the dating game, right? So they said it's talking about this online dating, man. What y'all think about that, man? Man, can that work? That's what it's. Can that online dating, man? Like, we came up in a generation where you dated. It wasn't no online dating like that. When I can't even imagine meeting somebody online. I'll be terrified. What if I get catfish or salmon? What if somebody try to treat me? I get desert trout, jungle salmon, piranha.
This is why I can't be on conversations, man. Right here. This right here is why I can't be part of conversations, because I'm not politically correct. Okay? So I might say something that might get us banned and we ain't even nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like online dating is for ugly people. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never thought about going online. Like, I want somebody to see me. I'm trying to go out and be seen. You know what I mean?
Right.
This face I was giving, what the hell I'm hiding behind the screen for? I'm going out. Like, what you mean? Like, come on, man. Online dating is for the ugly people, man. That's just what I'm saying, man.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't think I would be comfortable with trying to find a spouse on dating like that. You know what I'm saying? Never. I mean, I'm more old school, but I can say that I got friends that actually got married from online dating.
Yes, my auntie's husband is from online dating. You know what I mean? But she's in her 50s or whatever like that. So maybe, she was tired of God. I have no clue. But for a guy like myself, man, it ain't just something that I never got on. I don't even have social media outside of Facebook. Like, I got Facebook, for my family could see my kids and things like that, man. I don't have Instagram. Like, I'm not into none of that, man. If I can't touch you, what I want to see you for? Like, I've never been into that, man.
And can you imagine just, I don't even know you then. I ain't seen you. And we showing up for a date on the first time, and you show up.
Hey, you ain't the same person. It's on the.
But that was you 12 years ago. Now you 60 or something, man. Like, what I done did, man? You got these old pictures up there. You ain't changed. Come on.
Hey, remember on Friday?
True. That is true. People do have old pictures up like a mother. That's real.
See what I'm saying? And I ain't even on there, and I know that's what they doing, man. I see people on Facebook. You see they like. It'll be my aunties. Like, you'll see their picture from when they, like, if you don't take that picture down, you 65. If you don't get that out of here.
Hey, that was y'all was at the family reunion in 2003.
Right.
She throwing up that picture. Like, nah, man, that ain't what she look like no more, man.
Oh, man. He said, "More like Dana's funny people." That was silly, dog.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, and I hope we don't get banned before we get started, man. But my end to that question about online dating is for ugly people. Okay? Because listen, man, there's no way I think I'm gonna get on there and find a woman that's up to my standards online. Like, I'm really gonna think that a woman that I want is online looking for somebody. Like, ain't nobody trying to hit on her like, she ain't got enough dudes that she don't need to be online.
Right. That's real. That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the point I be making. Like, so either you weird or something going on that
something going on. Yeah, something going on.
Ain't getting hit on every day in the streets, man.
That's gonna happen too, though. So, like, you get hit on enough, but you don't need to be online.
Right.
But you know
like,
what? But
I can see if you trying to promote a page, like, got a following, but I'm talking about as in dating. No.
I don't know. I think this might be a good question to ask some people. I think it would have been fair if you had somebody on the line that actually did that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and also in this generation, because this generation, this is more of what they do.
Right. So we part of the older generation.
They don't even know how to have a conversation. Yeah, like, we could be sitting in the room with one of them and ask them a question, and it'll be better in a text. You know what I mean? They don't even know how to have a conversation. So that might work for them.
Yeah, and I'd rather talk to you versus text you.
Yep.
Hey, look. This is what take place. You will ask them a question, and they'll go mute on you and be like, "Hold on," sit there, grab their phone, and text you the answer right while you sitting across from them, because They don't even know how to explain what they just said. I think we turning our people into aliens, man.
Nah, it is a different time though, man. Definitely.
I wish they would really use the phones for what they there for. Like you can have a computer in your pocket all day and you want to like pictures instead of learning history or finding out how to make the next thing that's going to be needed. Like, no, I'd rather go around and follow somebody who had a sex tape to become popular. Like, I'm going to go follow Kim K. And like, what is her talent? Like, so what is she going to teach you that you want to follow her? Like, what can she show you? To go find a dude like Ray J and make a tape and you could be out there? But that's what
he wasn't doing nothing. Ray J wasn't doing nothing, man. Ray J up there like, get on, man.
Listen, man. She knew who to go make the sex tape with. Like, you know, she picked who to go make the sex tape with. She wasn't gonna pick no real dude, nah, because the tape wasn't gonna go how she wanted. It was gonna be a whole different tape, man.
He up in there like
one wish.
Yeah.
All right, man. He ain't rep his hood, man. Get on out of here, little boy.
Man.
Man. I'm just kidding. But
I think that's just the new age, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? That just like I said, I prefer just being out, you know, you just bumping into your woman or something or somehow like that, or you out and about versus just online stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Because that feels more organic to me.
Yeah, like, it's not organic.
If I go online, right? Say like, okay, so now I get to show you my house. I get to show you my cars. I get to show you all this, how I'm living. So I'm going to believe that you want me for me?
Right.
Like, you done already seen everything. You're like,
I got another question.
Of course you won't. If I'm doing good, of course
right.
You won't.
Like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
It's sad, man. I hope we can work that out, man. Anybody that's watching the video, hopefully you're in a position that you can think strategically about who you meeting and be safe, because what if you're getting set up and you online and somebody want to take off with you when you link? How you know who you sitting across from?
Well, first off, if we're going to talk to the people who listening, all right, to all of my daters out there, okay? What I want you to start doing is vetting the other people, okay? Find out if it's mental disease that run in their family. Find out if it's obesity that runs in their family. Find out all these things before you just look and say, oh, she got a fat ass. I want that. Now you got a baby that you don't understand finna be a lunatic because she come from a whole family of mental disease or something. So basically, vet your daters.
But we talked about that too. Not trying to we going a little different though. But what you just said is man, that's very, very important. But that's also important if you even find somebody organically, because those are questions people don't really ask, especially when it comes to kids and we having kids with people. We don't ask certain questions and you know what I'm saying, in background situation, how you grew up, you know, all that stuff is very, 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 very important.
Well, we getting
how does it come to finances?
You know what I mean? Like we think that asking them type questions are too intrusive, but those are the type questions that you need to know. Like we got to be comfortable getting uncomfortable.
What about finances? Because it's not. Sometimes your finances might be a disease. How you handle your money, spending money the wrong way, and how you manage money, man.
I tell all my black people.
How does that look if
you see all these other nationalities that come to our hoods and put businesses there? And it's not because we're poor. It's because we have poor spending habits. Okay, we're going to run and spend our money on stuff that we don't need. So regardless of how much money most African Americans make, they live check to check. Like, so regardless you making $100,000 a year, you still living check to check because you're trying to keep up with the
Commonwealth in Boston right now. Man, the Commonwealth right now in Boston is about $8 worth of wealth versus maybe $250,000 and up worth of wealth. We don't own or operate anything, man, in Boston. Mostly around the country. So,
like, period. You look at the net worth of an average African American is $17,100, man. The average net worth of a Caucasian is $171,000. I mean,
you can't fight.
Wow, that's crazy.
The proof is in the pudding.
Hey, man, that's like Mike Tyson fight Roy Jones. That's like Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones real hard. I'm terrified. Roy Jones, if you listen to this, I'm so scared for you because, hey, that's like Mike Tyson is going.
Listen, man, I still see Mitch Green face, man. Every time somebody talking about fighting Mike Tyson, I just see Mitch Green. Mitch Green thought he got hit about 6 times, man. Tyson hit that man 1 time, man.
I got in an argument the other day with all my family. I don't want to talk about losing. I talked about my 1% chance of beating Mike Tyson. They just, man, my cousins start calling everybody in the family, calling me crazy. They call everybody. I just didn't want to I didn't want to picture. And my mom and my sister was on the phone. I was like, I'm not going to imagine myself losing.
Listen, man.
I'm just not.
Sometimes you just gotta be real with yourself, man. All right. Sometimes you just gotta be real with yourself, man. All right. Like that's some smoke right there. You don't want, man. You don't want that smoke, man.
That's some violence.
That boy
what
right
Roy
there
doing?
is a cave line.
And they trying to act like it's and then they trying to act like it's gonna be a celebrity fun thing to do. You know Mike Tyson gonna knock him out just because he can't. He gonna knock his head off like Jason
celebrity
Voorhees.
box.
I want to call.
You can't charity box, man. That's like saying,
It's
we're going to go out here
impossible.
and play a charity tackle football game. How the hell we going to play a charity tackle football game? Only not a tackle one way, man. What you want me to do? Like, what I supposed to do, man? Like, just grab you and put you down on the ground? Like, no, man, I'm finna come through you, man. Like,
it's impossible. It's impossible, man.
Tyson gonna knock that man's head off his shoulders, man.
And then don't care either, because it's his show. It's his show. He talking about getting everybody together, Jerry Rice and them running routes. It's his show, so he gonna do what he want to do on the show. That's why they delayed it.
That boy Tyson crazy, man.
It's his show. He gonna hurt somebody on his show. Oh man, so look, man, we winding down, man. Any summaries on some of the things we talked about?
No, let me ask you that. I don't know how your platform is. Do anybody comment on anything or something?
Well, we always close out. We always close out like what you need to tell the world, man. What you feel. Any summarizations of what some of the things we spoke about. We just summarize. You know what I mean? And what you want to lead the world today. What's something great you can tell somebody?
Well, I would say, because based off what we were saying, what we kind of talked about as far as relationships with the opposite woman and things of that nature, being in a relationship with a woman, I just think that ultimately, man, kind of like Dwight was saying, like, I believe in karma. You know, do unto others as you want them to do unto you, especially when you're in a relationship, man, because everybody's heart, man. When you get in a relationship, man, you basically, like, you serious about it, you basically giving that other person your heart. You know what I'm saying? And your heart, I guess Cardi B, man, everybody's heart is fragile. You know what I'm saying? Because when you open up and give that to somebody, man, you open. You know, like again, just imagine, saying you've been divorced, I've been divorced. Marcus, you know what I'm saying, is that you have to learn how to open back up again. You see what I'm saying? And you have to learn how to be able to let your heart be able to be willing to get hurt again. You know what I'm saying? And that's not always easy to do. So just be aware of that, because just like you want your heart to be taken care of and that person to take care of your heart, you need to take care of the other person's heart. And just communication is key, man. Communication, like talk about everything, and I found out a lot of times the stuff that even the stuff that you really don't want to talk about, even when it comes to another woman and stuff, even feelings like you may have had about another woman, even while you're in a relationship, that type of stuff to me, it seems like it's scary to have those conversations. But when you do have those conversations like that, it stops you from even thinking that thing, because now it's like you got that off your chest because you shared it with your significant other. You know what I'm saying? And it makes it harder for you to go around and try to do it again. You know what I'm saying? Or even to act upon that, because now they know. You see what I'm saying? So I just say communication, man. How you need to make that happen and make that work with your spouse whenever you're in a situation like that, I think that is key. But karma is everything, you know what I'm saying? I believe in it.
What you got, brother?
Well, I would like to say to those, once again, who are searching, make sure you do your research. And to those who are involved, understand we all have days where we may wander mind-wise, but the other person that you're in a relationship deserves your honesty in every situation. And when you don't give them honesty, you basically take away their options. And as a person, that's the worst thing to have, is your options taken away. So always keep the other person in mind in everything that you do, and know that the love that you get from spouse and kids is unmatched.
Right
So
on.
if you haven't had the feeling of it, I really encourage you to work towards it, because I have 4 kids, and those were the greatest accomplishments of my life. So just take that with you.
Man, I like how you put that, as far as not being honest. It takes the option away from the other person. That's strong.
That is strong. I think some of the same letters in honesty is in options, at least 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. And understand that when you talking to somebody and you talking to your significant other, always understand that listen and silent are spelt with the same letters.
There you go. Yeah, man. Hey, brothers. Hey, I want to thank you for this first Kings of the Round Table session, man. This is our first one. I think I want to thank our host, Dwight Smith, Coach Dwight Smith, and thank you for coming on, Coach Thomas. I hope your business does great. OK Tax Champs, U.S. and Dallas. Those of you need to reach out. It does a great job. But this was a very meaningful time, I think, for a lot of men. I think for a lot of men and women, in which we can actually elevate. The word LAVA stands for Learning Abilities for Victory and Achievement. And one place you always need to understand is that you always need to be in a position to be coached and build up. You never know everything, man. You guys did a great job. Hey, I love y'all, man. Hey, I'll see you next time. Hey, Carl, you got to probably come back, man.
All right. Hey, I appreciate the invite, man.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care.